20-minute tapes to put on YouTube.
Yeah.
But what the fuck was the point of the story?
You were talking about weird auditions like that.
Okay,
fake audition
so
on it.
I get a call one day, and they're like, listen, man, some people want to see you for a movie. I go, no shit. And I'm all excited. And I go, who are the people? And they go, you know that theater over on Highland? I'm like, I don't say that. And they're like, they're doing a movie. They got the producers. They know a bunch of people. They're going to get into festivals. Then they're going to finance it. And you're perfect for one of the roles. I go, okay. But at that time, I had the fat ball in my neck. And I was just about to get surgery. I used to have a fat ball in my neck. It was all cocaine cut from all the years.
You're not serious.
I'm dead serious. It wasn't. It was like a fucking ball of fat. It wasn't cancerous. That was in my neck. And whenever my heart would beat, the ball would go like this. It would go up and down.
No.
Oh, you have no fucking idea.
You're freaking me out so bad.
So they had a cut right here. Rogan talked me into going. Rogan goes, you got to go get that taken care of.
Did they biopsy it when they took it out?
They did a biopsy.
And there was cocaine in it?
No, but in my mind, they showed it to me, and that's what it looked like. It looked like a big ball of cut. God. It looked like a big ball of cut that had been cleaned away from the cocaine.
Ew.
And kept going through this nostril, and it just developed by my neck over here.
Ew. What the fuck?
So,
I thought there was actual blow in it. Like they cut it open and it was just all your blow caught there.
So I go for the first fucking audition.
So stupid.
And at this time I had done movies and shit. Like I had done a lot of shit. And I go for my first audition. And listen, it was when they called, it was a big feature and blah 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 blah. And Sonny Red's gonna be in it, and this guy's gonna be in it. And then when you cleared the smoke, it was $50 a day, ultra low budget. And my role was 9 days, full days. And I'm sitting there and I go, let me go down there and read. What do I got to lose by reading? Do you know I went down there and read? You know what the guy said to me?
What?
He goes, listen, I want you to, we're going to make believe this didn't happen.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But at least...
In their right mind, ever take a set of CDJs to Burning Man. It's just so hot. Dust just gets into everything. I would never take my CDJs to Burning Man. But for the right price, I'd let someone else do it. Yes, that's right. I sent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 CDJ 2000 Nexus units out to the desert for a week and pretty much hoped that when they came back, I'd be able to clean them up so that none of the dust would actually damage any of the electronics and the circuitry inside. Long story short, this environment is incredibly dangerous for electronics due to the nature of the playa dust that the entire place is made out of. So follow along because in this video, I'm going to take these CDJs and see if I can reform them to their former glory. Before we embark on this journey, we're gonna need a few supplies. Compressed air is a must, and if you don't have a shop compressor, these single-use cans of compressed air will do just fine, as long as you keep them upright. I elected to grab a few empty spray bottles, one for my distilled water and one for my distilled water and vinegar solution. Isopropyl alcohol is important because it displaces any water that we're going to use in the cleaning process. Even though most of the components on these circuit boards are water resistant, it's nice to have the alcohol there to displace the water and evaporate quickly. And then the contact cleaner I'll use on things like flex cable and the fader. Can't go wrong with a pair of very soft toothbrushes and microfiber towels. Now this spray detailing wax isn't necessary, but I feel like it helps shine up the plastic a little bit at the end. The only real tools you'll need is a pair of Phillips head screwdrivers. One medium-sized one and one smaller one will do just fine, or you can get a little electronics repair kit like the iFixit one. And finally, of course, nitrile gloves because safety first. Once you've assembled all of your tools and found a suitable workspace, we'll start by dusting off the exterior. Even though this feels like an obvious step, it's important. This dust is really just microscopic rock, and we need to remove as much of it as possible without actually physically touching the surface. There are 5 screws on the bottom and 2 screws on the back that allow us to clamshell open the CDJ unit itself. Be careful and make sure that when you're disassembling to remove all of the flex cable attachments. Screw by screw, we're going to remove all the circuit boards and make sure to put all the plastic buttons in a safe space for us to clean later so you don't lose them. There are about 120 screws that stand between us and completely disassembling this CDJ. Remember, we got to be super, super careful when we're taking these things apart. But not really. This is the LCD from inside of the CDJ screen unit, I guess. And you can see dust actually got underneath all that plastic and into what's supposed to be pretty much a sealed shut part of the unit. Here's another example of how the dust can really get into places you wouldn't expect. This is the underside of the entire screen assembly, where like your USB buttons and SD card buttons are. So all this dust got underneath here, and that all has to be cleaned out with the toothbrush and vinegar and distilled water solution. And then to make sure the water doesn't damage anything, you have to quickly go over it with the isopropyl alcohol, which displaces all the water and then evaporates quickly away. The most important part of this cleaning process is neutralizing the incredibly alkaline playa dust that has worked its way into really every nook and cranny of these boards. And if you remember anything from your 7th grade science class, you know that the only way to neutralize something that's alkaline is to clean it with an acid. To do this, I'm using a vinegar and distilled water solution that I've mixed up into a spray bottle here. I ended up using about 1 part white vinegar to 8 parts distilled water. After the vinegar spray down, I needed to remove all of that vinegar residue, and I did that by rinsing and spraying thoroughly with hot distilled water. And as I mentioned earlier, we used the isopropyl alcohol spray to displace any of the remaining water, and then the isopropyl alcohol just evaporates away very quickly. And then any areas that had bare metal contacts, I would spray down with the contact cleaner. So I went ahead and put all of the plastic components, all the little light guides. These basically just act as little pathways for the LEDs on the PCB to reach the surface. This is the reverse light up indicator. I'm just gonna let these soak in a warm water and vinegar solution that I made up earlier. So we're fast forwarding a bit here to next week. I had to leave to do a couple shows, but I decided to leave the CDJs open like this on the shelf to kind of help them air dry out any sort of residual moisture from the cleaning process. And now we're going to turn them on and see if it worked. And you can really see like the difference here on the cleanliness of the boards. It does look pretty much brand new. And you can see these are the CDJs that have the new version link port, which is kind of interesting if you don't realize that there's 2 versions of this panel and you go to repair one and you open it up and it's a totally different part number. So that was fun, personal experience. All right, let's clamshell this together and turn it on. And this is the first time I'm turning it on too, so we'll see if it still works. And look at that. And I think the only thing that really got damaged was these Q buttons, the Q and play. I don't know if you can see on there, but they kind of have lost their shine. But that's easy. Those are like, I think, $40 for the set for each of them. And yeah, that's not too bad. And I wanted to replace them anyways. I spent about 15 to 20 minutes running through all of the features on these 2 decks that I cleaned up, just making sure that all the inputs and outputs work, all of the pressure-sensitive jog wheels work as they should, the pitch faders give the right readings that they're supposed to, all the buttons are clicky, all the lights are lighting up, and of course that the link function is working. I'm really happy with how this whole cleaning project turned out. As long as you know what you're getting into from the beginning and you have a pretty decent knowledge about electronics, I wouldn't sway anybody away from sending their equipment to Burning Man. Of course, you're taking a risk when you do this, and if this is your only set of CDJs or you need them to absolutely 100% work when they come back, then maybe I would say don't do this. But I'm in the position where I have a decent enough rental stock to where even if this set came back completely destroyed, I'd be able to fulfill my rentals until I figured out how to get a replacement. I would definitely rent to other camps in the future, and it really just comes down to your personal risk assessment and the amount of time you want to spend cleaning the equipment. As we know, time is money, and I would not charge a normal rental rate for a Burning Man rental. From start to finish for each CDJ, I would at least allocate 4 hours. So whatever your hourly time is worth, multiply that by 4, and then maybe tack on a little bit of extra padding and add that to your rental rate, and there's your Burning Man rental. To be honest, the only thing I really didn't touch was the CD. The reason being that these are pretty self-contained units, and the CD drives were actually taped up when you were being at
for they don't know what they do. It's much better for you when you forgive. Just forgive. Forgive. For they don't know what they do. It's much better for you when you forgive. Just forgive. Sadhus, babas, and pseudo shamans speak of enlightenment, sacraments, men in holy garments. Say eradicate ego, but there he goes, preaching without practicing the worst. Spiritual ego, the things we hate in other people, we may become. Best we forgive, not just with words, but with our actions. Stuck in a loop, trapped in a zoo, going round the circles. Break the cycle, flip the script, jump over your hurdles. I try to push the limits of my mind. Raise the energy from the base all the way up my spine. Rewire the circuitry that keeps me blocked and in a bind. Cause everybody knows what you will seek is what you find. The mountain is high, you got to climb to change the view. The ones who make it to the top, only a few. And you never be a master of your mind. If you pointing fingers and blame the one who's blaming you. So forgive, for they don't know what they do. It's much better for you when you forgive. Just forgive. Forgive, for they don't know what they do. It's much better for you when you forgive. Just forgive.
What did I do? Well, my answer for that is streets. And now, having answered that question, let me tell y'all when I realized the streets won for me. There was actually 3 things that led to me not wanting to be in the streets anymore. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the first one. Alright, so I'm from Brooklyn, New York, right? And I moved to Virginia at a young age. And when I moved here, I still had the hood in me. You know what I'm saying? And like, when I got here, we lived in the suburbs, and I ain't going front. I wanted to bring all of that hood shit to the suburbs. So, what do you think I did? I found some kids in the suburbs that wanted to be from the hood and wanted to do all of the hood shit that I wanted to do. So I make friends with these 2 people. One named James and the other one named Fenton. Now, Fenton was just like me. He was actually from the hood. Like, he lived in New Orleans before he came to Virginia, and yes, he knew what the hood was like. But James, on the other hand, he had family that was from the hood. But this nigga wanted to be from the hood so fucking bad. Now, with that being in mind, knowing that this guy is gonna potentially do the same things I'm gonna do, who do you think I hung out with more? Obviously the poser. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, the reason why I liked hanging out with James is because, like, niggas from the suburbs, They do mad stupid shit just so they can be called real. Like, dog, this nigga would do the dumbest shit ever. Anything I asked this nigga to do just so he could be called real. Like, he was the type of nigga that if you told this nigga that real niggas don't wash their hands after they pee, then this nigga will never wash his hands again. Like, I told this nigga before that if we ever get caught doing anything, the realest nigga is gonna take the charge. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, we got caught up doing something, and look at this nigga, he took the charge. Now, if you've seen my story about the first time I got my loyalty tested, you clearly see that, yeah, James did some time for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, but past that, now, James is out of jail. And after him doing all of that time for me, he comes back home and wants to get back on the same dumb shit that we were doing before he got locked up. And of course, me, being the young idiot that I was like, hell yeah, nigga, let's get right back to it. But, things have changed since James got out of jail, you know what I'm saying? And, he wasn't necessarily willing to do that again. So he came up with an agreement and he told me, he said, all right, man, yo, I was a real one. I took the last charge. So, if we ever get in trouble again, you gonna take that. And I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I ain't thinking that we ever gonna get caught again. Okay, fuck it, nigga, I'll take the next one. And of course that shit happens. Like, bruh, how the fuck, like, I hate my bad luck. Like, nigga, how the fuck do I agree to something like that? And of course this shit happens, like, literally a few days later. So me and this nigga James was going around doing mad, stupid shit. And it didn't help that I had a job. So, like, that, like, provided us the funds to do even more dumb shit. So I get us these BB guns, right? And I'm thinking that the dumbest shit that we might possibly do is go around and shoot out people's windows. Because we've done that shit before. And it was the dumbest. Trust me, stupid fuck. But I thought that was the dumbest shit that we do. But I forgot. James was locked up. James came out a realer nigga. And you know what that meant? That we had to do realer shit. James thought of another way that we needed to use these BB guns. And his way was for us to get money. Yep, y'all already know where that went. We had to rob somebody. But see, with James, he thought that robbing somebody would be just a little bit too easy for us, and that's not real enough. So he says that we gotta rob the corner store. Now, in Fredericksburg, Virginia, there's not too many corner stores. And the corner store that we chose wasn't the best area, because, like, the police station was literally 2 minutes away from the shit. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. But as soon as he said it, I was with it. I was like, nigga, we about to be gangsters as soon as we do this shit. Now, when you're a teen and you commit crimes, you don't, like, plan anything out. It's always just like a spur-of-the-moment thing. Let's do it now. So, we had no preparation time. He just said, let's rob the store. I was with it. We went to go do it immediately, nigga. My nigga, we are two teenagers dressed like Soulja Boy in the Crank That video, about to go rob a store. No mask. Now, like I told y'all before, I liked hanging out with James because I could just convince him to do anything by telling him that he was real. So, I told him, my nigga, you are the realest nigga I know. You gotta be the one to do this, bro. I'll be the lookout. This nigga immediately agreed. Like, I'm like, dog, you ain't got a mask on. This nigga finna get caught. Like, fuck it, nigga. At least it ain't gonna be me. I was thinking to myself that, like, if anything happens during this robbery, I'm just gonna walk off. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm just gonna act like nothing happened. I'm a lookout, bro. How the fuck you can't accuse me of doing shit? Oh, how wrong was I? So we're outside prepping for the robbery, right? And like I said, we're teenagers. We don't really plan anything. So we're doing this literally right outside the fucking store. I'm trying to tell y'all, nigga, we're fucking retarded. Bro, the store owner even looked outside and my dumb ass waved at this nigga. Like, dog, how fucking retarded can you be? So when the store owner goes back in the store, James says, it's go time, bro. I'm about to go in there and rob this nigga. So with no planning, no disguises, or anything, this robbery was about to take place. I get into position, which is right on the side of the store. Like I told y'all, we really didn't plan any of this shit at all. He walks in the store, and I'm not even gonna hold y'all niggas. As soon as he walked in there, I was about to leave. Like, nigga, I got scared as fuck. Plus, as soon as this nigga walked in the store, he takes off his hood. I'm like, nigga, you about to get caught. Ain't no way I'm finna be here. But, sadly, loyalty kept me around. Like, bro, I was like, yo, you know what, man? I can't let this nigga go out like that again, man. I'm gonna be here for my nigga. Until the cops come, then I'm out. So he goes in the store. He takes off his hood and everything, just like I told you, pulls out the gun, and I keep hearing this nigga yelling, give me the fucking money, you bitch ass nigga. He keeps yelling until it gets completely silent. And that's what scared me. It scared me more than being the actual lookout for this whole mission. So, I go over there to the door so I can see what's going on the inside. Bruh. This nigga James is sitting there with a gun in his hand on the side of him. And the owner got a gun straight to this nigga face. So what happened was, when James walked in there and pulled out his gun and demanded the money, the owner could tell it was fake. Like, nigga, why wouldn't you put a bag over that shit or something? Well, smack this nigga with the fucking pistol. Do something. But he didn't. The nigga found out it was fake and immediately pulled his strap on him. I said strap on him. Dwight Howard. The owner of the store tells James to give up his gun. And of course, James listens to him because he has a real gun pointed at him. Now, this whole time, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck do I need to do to help my nigga out, because I don't want this nigga to get killed. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And trust me, this was a very desperate time. And when you're scared, you don't know what the fuck to do. So, like I told y'all before, y'all remember that police station that I told y'all was about 2 minutes away from this whole thing? Yeah, so one of these squad cars just happened to pass by while all of this was going on. And like I told y'all, you don't know what you're gonna do when you're scared. My nigga, my dumb ass stopped this fucking cop and told this nigga to help us. What the fuck was I thinking? Dog, I tell this cop that I see some grown ass man inside of this store pointing a gun at a teenager. So of course the cop gets out the car immediately and goes inside, assesses the situation, and figures out that we were trying to rob the place, obviously. So backup arrives no less than 2 minutes later, you know, because the fucking police station is 2 fucking minutes away. So backup arrives, right? At this point, I'm the only one of us two that has talked to the cops at all. Because like James, he was really on some real nigga shit. Like this nigga was not gonna talk to these cops no matter what they told him. And at this point, I mean, I ain't saying nothing either to the cops, you know what I'm saying? Besides that, my nigga had a gun pointed at him. That was about it. Like right then and there. Because like, as time went on, somebody had to talk to these people. When you're under the age of 18, the cops don't really want to question you. They want to get your parents there, then get consent from your parents to question you. So they just threw me and James in the back of the cop car till our parents got there. Now, while me and James are in the back of this cop car, that agreement that we made before just happened to come up again. And James looked at me and was like, yo, you my nigga. And you a real one. You got this. My nigga, I got what? Like whatever I got, I'll give it back. Like, fuck out of here. Like, what do you mean? He was like, yo, you remember when we were talking about it and you said you got the next one? Like, my nigga, the last time I even said I got next, we was playing 21. Like, fuck out of here, nigga. I'm not taking shit. Then he was like, yo, bro, like, you really finna do this again? Like, seriously? Yeah. Like, nigga, I wasn't expecting to get caught. Like, fuck, nigga, you actually got caught. I ain't even get caught, nigga. I was just trying to save you from getting shot. You got caught in the process of that, so don't try to blame me for that shit. Then he was like, yo, why ain't you just run there with the strap and shoot this nigga? Bro, we got BB guns, dog. This nigga wearing a sweater. Like, dog, they ain't even gonna touch this nigga. After me and James went back and forth for a little bit, I started to realize that, like, James is from the suburbs, and James is a real nigga. Let me tell this nigga how he can get realer. Like I told y'all before, this nigga would do anything, literally anything, to be a real nigga. Dog, I told this nigga, I said, yo, if you take this one, nigga, you at least doing 10 in a real adult prison. Nigga, you about to be real as shit. And this nigga dead ass believed me. Like, dog, I couldn't even believe it myself. Dog, this nigga's eyes literally lit up. He was like, I could be what? I'm like, nigga, like the only thing you really gonna be is a convict, but like, nigga, if you think that you're gonna be real, by all means, please take this. And that was all I needed to say. That was good enough to convince this nigga that he would take this charge for me, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. I think those 10 years are just about up now. Bro, he told the cops that he forced me to go out there and be a lookout. Y'all can sound a fucked up friend, but I still think that he a real ass shit. So, in conclusion, that was the first part of this story. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all can leave the story part because the next part is about how they tried to get him out. Let's go straight in. Kabaka Pyramid.
FX, hey, them not got no style like we. I tell you, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, no wild like we. Kabaka Pyramid, me the lyrics, DT, dub FX. Them not got no style like we. I tell you, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, no wild like we. Kabaka Pyramid, me the lyrics, DT, dub FX. Hey, me lyrical from Banya, but the fire red and you sit.
That's what you're into. Please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. So today, we're going to be talking about cellmates. What it's really like to have a cellmate. What to do in certain situations. And look, I got a couple stories to go along with this, alright? And one of them is a little violent. I know a lot of people do not approve of or think jumping someone is really respectful or I guess the warrior way of doing things. But check it out. Even before I went to the penitentiary, me and my homeboys were jumping people. And it ain't just hoodlums and, you know, gang members jumping individuals. I've been to freaking frat parties and seen a bunch of college kids beating one person up. You know, it's just, if you're rolling with your homeboys and people get to throwing fists and stomping people, you tend to get caught up in emotion and do the same thing, especially when you're younger and not thinking. But one of the stories I'm going to be bringing your way today definitely has a little bit of jumping in it. Okay, so check it out. First things first, let's go into having a cellmate. Now check it out. When you first go into jail or prison, one of the first things you're going to be doing is talking or introducing yourself to your cellmate. In jail, it's a little bit different than prison, okay? Because in prison, a lot of places, you can kind of pick and choose who you're going to be housed with. And there's other ways to go about it. I'm not going to go into that, but jail, they typically throw you in there with whoever, you know, unless you're in certain areas, maybe Cali or somewhere in the West Coast where, you know, race is a big factor. They'll probably throw you in there. If you're white, they'll throw you in a cell with a white dude. And even over here in the East Coast, let's say you go to Norfolk City Jail, right over here in Hampton Roads, where it's blacks are dominating the whole facility, they're going to throw you in there with, let's say you're a white dude, they're going to throw you in there with a white dude more than likely, or put you on the floor where most of the white guys are, because they know if they throw you in one of the other blocks, you're going to be getting taken advantage of. And whoever coordinates this is usually, you know, classification or some kind of correctional officer. But, you know, sometimes they just don't give a damn and they'll throw you in there with whoever they feel like throwing you in there with. If there's an open bunk, they'll throw you in there. And next thing you know, you're getting, you're getting freaking robbed and all kinds of stuff because people don't give a damn about where you're housed. So when it comes to that aspect, you know, it's you better hope and pray that classification looks out for you. You know what I mean? And then let's say you're gangbang, let's say you're a Crip or you're a Blood, they're more likely gonna put you in that section of the jail, and it could bite you in the butt because a lot of people when they go into when they go into jail for the first time, they don't tell them if they're associated with someone, you know. And they might have tattoos. Let's say they're a Blood and they have blood tattoos and they ask them if they're a Blood and they say, no, I'm not a Blood, you know, this, that, and third. And they'll throw you into a block that might be dominated by Crips. And just because you didn't say you were a Blood, then you're probably going to get, you know, jumped or whatever the case is because you weren't placed into a freaking block full of Bloods where you would have been a lot safer. You know what I mean? But most of the time, you know, they can recognize this stuff and put you in there regardless if you tell them you're banging or not. Me personally, I'm not going to tell these intake people nothing, okay? I'm not going to tell them I'm associated with anyone because then they'll put me in a registered database, and then if I were to commit a crime later on down the road, they could throw me into some kind of freaking RICO law or something being associated with that group, you know? But you know, it's all up to you. It's all up to you. Now, there's many types of cells, okay? Different types of cells. They have 2-man cells, 3-man cells, 1-man cell, 5-man, 10-man, okay? But usually, you're going to be housed in a cell with just 1 or 2 other people. You know, if you go to prison, the prisons I've been in, you're going to be housed with 1 other inmate, you know what I mean? And y'all are going to be bunkies, and that's it. So whether or not you can get along with this dude, of course you're going to probably get along with him within the first month or 2, but when you're doing years, okay, when you're doing years with this fool, you're going to start realizing, man, this dude's annoying as hell. He's going to be doing things that aggravates you or other things like I'm going to be telling you here shortly, stories, okay? And one of these stories, it's a little violent. It's a little violent, man. But like I said, when it comes to cellmates, jail and prison is totally different, all right? And today we're going to be talking about the penitentiary because A lot of places in prison, you know, classification or whatever that's working in that compound, they can, you know, they know that you're going to be living with that individual for years, you know, and sometimes you could just pick up your stuff and move cells, swap bunks with someone, or you could tell classification, hey, me and this cellmate ain't working out, man. You got to move me or else, you know, there's going to be blood all over the place tomorrow. You know what I mean? And they typically will. I've told stories where I told classification, even majors or lieutenants, I was like, look, I'm not working out with this dude. I need to get up out of here. You know what I mean? You need to put me in with someone that, you know, I'm evenly yoked with, and they have. But yeah, the first thing you're going to be doing is introducing yourself to this man. And, you know, I've had cellmates that were a lot older than me, and I knew right from the jump after doing a little bit of time that those guys I'm probably not going to be really relaxed with because they're on a different level. I was younger, and I'm a little wilder, and I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm not trying to keep everything spotless, spit shine clean. You know, I'm not worried about that. I'm not institutionalized just yet. I'm trying to freaking enjoy my bid, do tattoos, and that's another thing. You need to come up front with the person, man. I remember I used to go into cell and be like, look, bro, look, I'm a tattoo artist, man. You know, I don't know if you're gonna have any problems with that. I'm just letting you know I'm a tattoo artist. Do you mind if I have people coming in here? You got to lay down the law, okay? And if he does mind, then you got to get up out of there because that's my business in prison, okay? Tattooing, that was my business. Dealing with other individuals, that's my business. They're going to be coming in and out the cell, and a lot of people, especially someone that might have life, they ain't going to stand for that shit. So you got to lay down everything up front with that cellmate before you even get into bid mode, okay? Because it's just gonna save you a lot of trouble, drama. It might even save your life. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, Brittany just interrupted me. Let me see it. Jesus Christ.
I told you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is raw footage right now. Are y'all ready? I'm looking at the screen because I'm so distraught instead of the lens. Oh my God, I swear on everything I love on my Father above, ladies and gentlemen. This is raw. This is raw. This is raw reality right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. Looks like Daddy Death is about to be Daddy number 4. God, I hope it's a son. I hope it's a son, girl. I can't believe it, man. I'm gonna be a dad again. Hey, look. This is absolutely insane. I don't even know if I can finish this video, man. How can I get back in my serious mode? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna have to just do a whole nother video tomorrow about this, man, but y'all witnessed it, you know, y'all witnessed it. Oh my God. Brittany, don't tell my mom and dad yet. Oh my God. Well, we're gonna need a bigger house. Let me finish this video really quick so I can go celebrate. I'm gonna tell you what, okay, let me just sum it up really quick for y'all, man. Don't trust no freaking buddy in the penitentiary or jail. Don't trust them. I don't care how close you are to them, man. Even if they're your own race, own gang, whatever the case is, do not trust them. Don't break down your information on how much money you be getting, who you're talking to, what kind of sexy ladies showing pictures of your sexy girlfriend, showing them off because they're gonna want it. They're going to want it, my friend. They'll get jealous. They'll hate you. They might even kill you. Haters and jealousy, man. Hey, tell you what, make your time very rough. Anyways, let me tell you one more story about this dude. And this happens to be about Kim Kardashian's Playboy. All right, man. I was about to go home. And I was in Greensville. And I was chilling with a lot of homeboys, man. 2 of them had life sentences. And I was chilling with this one guy who was a 5%er. Okay, 5%er. And I'm going to break it down for you really quick because I still to this day, I only had a rough idea of what a 5%er is. When you go to penitentiary, I know over here in the East Coast, there's a lot of individuals that are called 5%ers, and they'll sit in groups and do ciphers and stuff of knowledge or whatever. 5%er, I'm gonna read exactly what it is to you. And he was my homeboy. I used to joke him all the time. I'll tell you in a second, hold on. 5% nation, sometimes referred to as the nation of gods and earths, or the 5%ers, is a movement founded in 1964 in the Harlem section of the borough of Manhattan, New York City. Shout out to New York. Salute to y'all. By a former member of the Nation of Islam, Clarence 13X, who was named Clarence Edward Smith at birth, and who ultimately came to be known as Allah the Father. The nation of gods and earths teaches that black people are the original people of the planet Earth, and therefore they are the gods of civilization. The nation teaches that supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet, a set of principles created by Allah the Father, is the key to understanding humankind's relationship to the universe. The nation does not believe in the mystery God, but instead teaches that Asiatic black man is God, and his proper name is Allah, the Arabic word for God. He used to tell me, we are gods. And I used to say, well, if you're a freaking god, why don't you stop the rain so we can go out in the freaking rec yard, dog? And I had everyone laughing, man, because dude was so deep into it. But it's funny because he had a Kim Kardashian Playboy, and no one really cared, it's just, it's funny, man, it's funny. Religion's very funny in prison. But anyway, the dude thought he was a god, and I always used to joke him because he couldn't change the weather and stuff like that. Or he's a god, but you can't freaking read my sign to play a certain card in spades. You idiot. I love him though, man. It's my homeboy. Anyways, he had a Kim Kardashian Playboy, and he gave it to me, man. And Kim Kardashian, I'm sorry to say, if you ever watch this, you ain't my type. I ain't get it because of you. I got it because I like to read them. Playboys have very good reading material, But, of course, when you're in prison and seeing naked women, it just adds to the experience, But I had a porn collection that made Playboy look like, a playground. It was nothing compared to the freaking pure penetration shots that I had on a regular basis. So I usually got Maxim magazines and Playboys simply for the reading. And in Playboys on the front cover, I used to love doing this, there would be a hidden Playboy bunny. So we would always search and try to find the Playboy bunny on every edition. Some of them were very hard to find. But anyways, the 5%er let me borrow this freaking Playboy, and I had it. I went to lunch or dinner or something. I went to Chow Hall, and I came back to finish reading it, and it was gone. You know what I mean? It was just gone. And a lot of people knew I had it because they were in line to read it. This dude would share it with his, close friends in the block, and they would pass it along. Next person would be in line to read things, just like a newspaper or something. But this particular day, I put it underneath my mat so I could go to chow and eat. Well, the thing came up missing. The whole magazine came up missing. I didn't know what it is. I asked my cellmate, yo, you see anything? You see anyone coming to sell or whatever? Because it was completely gone. And I asked him, I said, bro, you didn't take it. I don't think you did, but I got to ask, you know what I mean? And he's like, nah, man, what the... he got all aggressive. He's like, nah, man, why would you even ask me that? You know what I mean? So I took it as a loss, man. And I told him, I said, look, man, someone got me, man. Someone took the magazine. He was heated. You know what I mean? He was pissed. But, I gave him a little bit of kickback. Doubled than what the magazine cost. You know what I mean? I looked out for him because it was my fault. It was in my safekeeping, and I lost it, or someone stole it from me. So, I was held responsible. But I was close to dude. I was really close to him. So I gave him a bunch of food just to ease his mind or whatever the case was. And so about a week goes by, like a week goes by, and this thing's just lost in the block. But I got people looking out, if they happen to see it, let me know, this, that, and third. So anyway, look, I went out to the rec yard with my homeboy Q. That was the 5%, that was his name, homeboy Q. And we went out to the rec yard. He went out, and I was running late. I was rushing to put on my shoes, and by the time I got out there, the rec gate was closed, so I missed the call. But my cellmate thought that I was in the rec yard. So when I came back, all the doors were locked. And they had these sliding doors, and I tell this all the time, there was buttons that you could press. Usually they didn't open them, but if you screamed to the correctional officer, hey, open up the freaking door, let me in my cell, they would open it up. You know what I mean? So I come back from the rec yard, and I'm going into the cell, going up to the cell, and I look in the cell, and he's in there, and he's reading a magazine, and he doesn't even know that I'm seeing it. He doesn't even know that I'm there looking at him reading the Kim Kardashian Playboy. So I just shut my mouth, you know what I mean? I sit there, and I walk around down to my homeboy's cell and post up over there by the window until the rec yard was over, rec call was over, because I was waiting on Q, you know, to get back. And, man, I'm still thinking about this pregnancy test. I can't believe it, man. I'm about to be a dad again. But anyways, Q, man. Q comes back, and I'm like, yo, Q, I found a freaking magazine. You know what I mean? It was in the cell. You know, my cellmate has it, you know. And the cell door, I've been watching my cell door, and it's still closed. He's still in there. And, you know, they start letting people in from the rec yard, so all the doors started opening. And I run up to the cell, and I done told Q that I found it. So Q told his homeboys, his little 5%er, I think he had a blood cat with him too, and they all walked up to the cell with me, and I straight up confronted my cellmate. You know what I mean? I said, hey, bro, I saw you looking at the magazine. I didn't make gate break, and I saw you looking at the freaking magazine. Where is it? So dude had the nerve to lie to my face again. You know what I mean? So I start going through his stuff. I start ripping everything apart, and sure enough, there it was. The Kim Kardashian magazine underneath the mattress in the foot of his bed. As soon as Q spotted that jank, before I could even grab the magazine, all I hear is fists being thrown on dude. And of course, you know, he stole from me, lied to my face. I throw my 2 cents in and get a couple stomps and punches. And look, I'm not over here telling people to go out and doing this type of stuff before, you know, it's not. But that's what we did, you know. And anyone in prison or jail that go through that kind of stuff, you better be expected to get jumped or beat the hell out of, because you don't steal, you don't lie, you don't do that. And if you're caught up in the mix, you might lose your life. Now everyone's winding down, everyone had their little 2 cents, put their little piece of work in. But Q, man, he was still going in. You know, he was going in, and I was like, damn, you know, Q might kill this fool. You know what I mean? Q might kill him. So I step out the cell, and I'm just standing there, you know, just looking around, because if he does kill him, I don't want the cameras to register. I'm about to go home. I'm about to go home in a few months. You know what I mean? I don't want this kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting outside the cell, and the rest of us are sitting outside the cell like, damn, you know, if he does happen to kill this dude, we don't want to be, you know, caught up in the mix. Like, you know, we stopped. You know what I mean? We stopped and left the cell. So long story short, homeboy got admitted into whatever. He got handcuffed. He didn't get killed or anything like that, but he was lumped up, had boot prints all over his freaking face. Took him out to medical or the whole, whatever the case was. And that's what it was, you know. And the CO that was working, I don't remember. I wouldn't say his name anyway, but I really don't remember his name. I do remember he had a gold tooth. There was a few of these COs that had gold tooths out in this Greensville area, this country area near Emporia. Look, anyone that's got, any older cat that's got like one gold tooth, he's done seen a few things. You know what I mean? He's done been in the mix a little bit. One gold tooth, he guarantees probably a dirty cat. But he was the one working, he was cool, man. And no one went to the hole. We told him exactly what happened, everything what happened. You know what I mean? Nobody went to the hole. So that's another crazy story about how a cellmate stole something from me. Well, not from me, but from my homeboy Q. And it is what it was. Everything, you know, it came back to him. But yeah, like I said, don't trust nobody in jail or prison. Make sure that you are evenly yoked with your cellmate. You know, if you're getting along with them, if you're in there for like a year and a half with dude and he's really getting on your nerves, you might have to peel out. Request one classification and be honest. Say, look, if you don't get us, separate us now and give me a new cellmate. Sometimes getting a new cellmate is good for your spirit too, to change the taste and, you know, a fresh start. So don't be scared to write that request form. Don't take it personally.
We got generation in place. I saw me sit up on the track and let the rhythm take me away. This your sick beat ring me when me sicking on the way. No other music can make me elevate, yeah. Don't you confuse it when I come yourself to play with your feet. Wash down the evil and the dirty tongues them. If you don't want to see we sing it on your back then, you never like the sound. There's no problem, but don't you come to wheel up for you around the game. No, there's no need to fight. Make we free we mind. It's coming from we heart and soul. Searching deep inside, I know. Reggae music grinds rise we up, vibe we up. Me never ever let it drop. In a roots rock steady, in a rubber dub style. Until the end we ain't gonna play it all the time. Reggae music, rise we up, vibe we up. Hey, me just a bust it non-stop. Give me the one drop music and a steady bass line. Bring back this unique flavor that we like. Yeah. You better stop the record if you know appreciate it. Been a few years till we hear the very same shit. Reggae music, only music, let us face it. It's basic. We got to think up and leave the place lit. And now we unite and we say, forget the people who might try to underrate you tonight. Reggae music always lead the way. Lead the way. Open up your vision. Alright. You're lacking sense of humor wherever you go. Sitting behind your computer, feeling like a hero. Feeding all them dirty rumors, spreading over your soul. You better play it cooler, or throw your friends to narrow. Reggae music, rise we up, vibe we up. Hey, me never ever let it drop. In a roots rock steady, in a rubber dub style. Until the end, we ain't gonna play it all the time. Reggae music, rise we up, vibe we up. Me just a bust it non-stop now. Dub FX, what you say? Hey, I said, pull out the rhythm, yeah, we better pull it quick. Burn up the fire till early morning. Now we're reaching higher, we about to hit the peak. All my warriors now come and join in, right? Don't let them stop you or get in your way. You can spread that fire, sit and meditate. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You got the power always. I said I don't. Pull up the rhythm and the fire. Dong, pull up the rhythm and the fire. Say that dong, pull up the rhythm and the fire. Dong, pull up the rhythm and the fire. Generation. Cause I'm a phenomenon, me prove it, try to know no matter what them I said, them I try them I do, we go follow the rhythm, go follow